Hey, it's Frank from Detail, and in this video I'm gonna describe how easy it is these days to record a podcast up to 4 persons with 1 or 2 iPhones. There's a couple hacks I want to talk you through. With today's technology, it's super easy and quite affordable to record a 4-person podcast. You can even use one iPhone. My dear colleague Diego Fiona made one. I was hosting this, so we did a 4-person podcast with the 4 of us. We just used one iPhone, or I think it was an iPad. Doesn't really matter. We used the front and back camera, and the results are amazing. But so you have the iPhone or iPad, which the front and back camera record at the same time. But then how are you going to record those 4 microphones, right? Because you have 4 people speaking, and we used lavalier mics. You all know that I'm a very big fan of these Rode microphones, and they come in a set of 1 receiver. That's basically the receiver, and if you pull out one of these puppies, let me show you right now, or 2, you'll see that they will be connected, as you can see. And yeah, basically that works really well. You pop one on either with a magnet or without, and you have 2 microphones on 1 receiver. It works really well. I love the charge case, it's really pro, but there's a couple things, they're quite bulky. I think you're better off using the lavalier mic, so this one goes in your pocket and you have the small light mic, etc. The problem with that is that these lavalier mics are a little bit harder to set up, I guess. It's a little bit more fuzzing around. Your guest or your client might be not comfortable pulling wires, etc. A lot of microphone manufacturers or tech companies these days are building smaller mics, and so there's abundance of 2 microphone systems. And I recently just discovered the Holy Land, and by the way, this video is not sponsored. Holy Land, if you're watching, or Rode, feel free to reach out, because I'll mention you, because I think you're both building great gear and we're using both of them, so there's no really good and wrong. But this is quite cool. The Holy Land Max 2 is like a kit, and it's like they're watching each other and they're making each other's setups more complete and complete. So because this is basically the same thing, charge box, 1 USB-C, which is exactly the same as the Rhodes, opens up, looks really slick. But look at that, the microphones are so much smaller. And let me get the Rode. And this one it's really good, don't get me wrong, audio sounds great, it's working really well. But look at this. How small are these? But my tutorial of today is not to compare these two. I mean, it's obvious that this one is heavy and this one is tiny. But there's a limitation in the Rode ones. What happens if you want to record with 4 people? These systems only have 2. These only have 2, 1 receiver, 2 microphones. Holy Land updated their firmware, and again, I'm not really here to spoil that you should buy Holy Land stuff. I'm here to solve a potential problem that you have. You want to record with more than 2 people with 1 or 2 iPhones, because there's a hack using the Rode ones. I'll get to that in a second. So I don't want to get you longer to this video, but then still, if you want to have the solution, stick around. So Holy Land updated their firmware, and I bought a second pair of these. So these are the Lark M2s Max. It's like a 2-person combo. But the beauty of these is you can combine 4 of these to 1 receiver. I marked them so because one of my colleagues actually. So let me see. This receiver is now in. If I pull one of these microphones out, it will connect. It shoots. So that's 1 and 2. There you go. So these are, as you can see, the colors are in. You can put that as a setting. You see the color indicators are purple and yellow. This is here, but it gets better. Let me see if I can walk you through this setup. So you press the settings button, you go all the way to settings, and then you can, that's basically the first setting after you updated the firmware. You go to the 4 microphone settings. So you see now all of a sudden it changed into a 2 to 4 microphone receiver. So basically then what you need to do is pull out This is the other set. And pull out those microphones. Of course, you need to pair them. But look at that. All of a sudden, they're all connected. And I think this is extremely wild. And you see the corresponding colors. So this is blue and mint green, I guess. So here they are. So let me show you the other microphones. So you see the colors. What you basically do, you have this receiver, use a USB-C to USB whatever. You also have the lightning cable, which is all included in the kit. Put this one into your iPhone. Then I'm gonna open up Detail, and within the library I'm gonna tap the new recording. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attach the receiver with the 4 microphones. And I can talk you also to the pairing process if you want to have a detailed video about this. I think it's pretty obvious how this works. So you basically take the receiver and the USB icon should show, and then all of a sudden, the reason why I'm using this receiver is that you can actually see it, but then you have 4 microphones, which is crazy. You see like I love this. So you can hand one to both of your colleagues or your friend, and then crazy, right? I hear you say, okay, I got this. Why record this with Detail? Well, that's very simple, because with Detail you can record the front and back camera at the same time. So we recorded this podcast with the 4 of us with just one iPhone, and we had this receiver connected with the 4 microphones. And with speaker direction, we can actually tell who's speaking, doing the AI auto edit. And I think that's really beautiful, because you can do a split screen, you can do a vertical or horizontal recording. I'll link the video down in the description below so you can see how we did it. But this is basically how we set up the 4 microphones. And I think that's really awesome. Okay, what would happen if you would have a similar system to the Rode and you want to be recording with 4 microphones? There's a really great hack, and this is where you've all been waiting for, of course, because who wants to buy these sets together if you already have a really perfectly fine working set? For example, this Rode set. Again, I love this one, but there's like cheaper ones, but they all have this flaw. They're only one receiver with 2 microphones, but if you want to have more microphones, how can you do this? You cannot put a hub and put more microphones in, because your iPhone will only discover 1 microphone. There's a really great hack. Luckily for you, we build Detail, and that means you can connect up to 2 iOS devices, and every iOS device can have one of these receivers connected. And I have a iPad which I'm using. I'll show you without breaking my setup, which I'm now using one of the USB ports for my professional camera. But you can imagine that if you have one of these receivers plug in my iPad and then one of these receivers plugged in the iPhone, this works. I made a video about how to connect 2 USB devices to 2 devices, and it's basically the same thing. So you have one iPhone and another iPhone connected with the other receiver. That means you have 4 microphones on 2 receivers. And when you record, I'll show you how it's done by connecting. So what we do on the iPad, which I'm now controlling, professional cameras there. I'm having my iPad here. I'm also screen recording my iPad, so you basically can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna hit connect, and I'm gonna also screen record my iPhone right now. I'm gonna open Detail on my iPhone, and then what I'm gonna do, the same as on my iPad, I'm gonna hit the connect button, and directly it will connect. 3, 2, 1, and there you are. So with your iPad and your iPhone connected, the only thing you need to do is connect your Holy Land receiver to your iPhone. That's one. And then on your iPad, you connect these Rode set. And easy does it, because the Holy Land has 1 receiver, 2 microphones, and the Rode set has 1 receiver, 2 microphones. So on your iPhone, you have 2 microphones, and on your iPad, you have 2 microphones. There's literally no more excuse not to make multi-camera, multi-angle, multi-microphone content. Thank you so much for watching. Happy creating, and I'll catch you on the next one.